What's something that people turn into their whole personality? Ferna89 said brands. People think choosing a brand of clothing speaks loud about them. Randomina number said. I was like that as a teen. You don't listen to heavy metal, why not? I enjoy listening to heavy metal, therefore I am somehow cooler and better than you. Now I liken it to going to a buffet and only eating chicken breast. You're not impressing anyone, dipshit, you're just missing out on a ton of other cool flavors and textures. Baggy Badger Pants said it's classic car season right now in Metro Detroit. A lot of sweet cars cruising around. It never fails every year that Jeep owners descend on the cruises. They park, open hoods, rip around revving engines. It's a stock Jeep off the lot, my guy, you're not turning heads. Hey Free Rats said. Thanks for your concern, haha, but I know, insert hustle, isn't a pyramid scheme because he specifically told me that it wasn't one, so I'm pretty sure I'm good, lol. Paraphrased message a friend actually sent after my gentle inquiring into his recent activity. Spoiler alert, it was a pyramid scheme. Crew 7750 said. Hey Queen. I know we haven't talked since high school, but recently I came across something that would allow you to work on your terms and be your own boss. You can also work from home. I thought this opportunity would be perfect for you. Let's connect and help each other out. Boss babe. Girl please. Bros 402 said. Fixed it for you. Hey lady, random question for you. Hey Queen. I know we haven't talked since what school, but recently I came across something that would allow you to work on your terms and be your own work from home. Today only. Boss. I thought this opportunity would be perfect for but right now. What let me know if you're interested. Girl please. You get so much free stuff. Texas Chair said. I have a niece who really got into it, but she doesn't go on about it. She's about 4-10 inches and could probably walk through a cinder block wall. She has the contours of a fucking fire hydrant, and could probably kick my ass. The barbells she uses are bigger than she is. She had a kid recently, and I'm convinced she launched it rather than deliver it. The doctor said push and got knocked backwards by an airborne infant and 5 gallons of placenta. Baby Bob said. The biggest fraud of government funds was a lady who stole government money to sustain her quarter horse addiction. The city didn't even have money for ambulances and fire trucks because of her horse addiction. Her name was Rita Crundwell and she stole close to $54 million for fucking horses, got caught when she took a 2-week vacation and a substitute controller worked the books and was like WTF. American greed. Sucre 2000 said. I remember being that way when I was younger, had to drink to be around them. Then when I stopped they didn't like it. So not that you're soliciting advice, but if you do quit and you're feeling good then they give you crap for not drinking, they're not the best of friends. It was def hard. Take care. Switched said. God fucking damn it. I worked with this kid and that was basically the first thing out of his mouth every time we started at a new property. Actually, kid, no you won't, this is a $600K home, and you spend all of your money on Call of Duty skins and gas station food. Super Doofus Parade said. I went to someone's house once who was obsessed with Disney. I wasn't warned of how obsessed they were and literally had to stop in the middle of the room because I was gaping at the sheer volume of Disney stuff they had. Every inch of the walls and surfaces was covered in Disney paraphernalia. The sad weird thing was that these were extremely wealthy people, so they had things like original Disney cells from the 30s, 40s and actual valuable objects just crammed next to some tacky plastic plates. Ripley Wild said. I like going to Disney World. Usually go for a week every 2 or 3 years. And I've gotten really good at planning the trips to the point friends have asked my advice to help plan for them as it's cheaper than a travel agent. I know a ton of trivia and history for the Disney parks as I think it's such a unique piece of Americana. Naturally I used to think that people complaining about Disney files were hating on people like me. But then I became more and more aware of the dregs who take it too far. People who don't vacation anywhere not owned by Disney. People who recite the entire ghost host speech in the stretching room ruining it for everyone else. People who listen to non-stop Disney podcasts and watch non-stop vlogs. People who have unsolicited opinions on the lives of the Tracker family. People who get legitimately mad about any changes to the parks. People who collect all the limited time merch while bitching about the fact it exists. People who try to out-skipper the skipper on Jungle Cruise. People who try to find the next big Disney Parks meme or try and force an old one. No, they don't fall down if you yell Andy's coming, but please keep yelling it every 30 seconds while other families are just trying to get a picture. You are in a theme park. Everyone is just trying to have a nice vacation. Just take it down like 3 notches, my dudes. Emily 23 said. Some fans are kinda scary. Their whole life becomes dedication to a celebrities. And it's not just their personality, they make everything around them about that person. Posters, music, merchandise, weird things bought on the internet, supposedly with relation to the subject of their obsession, and so on. I can't imagine being close to somebody before and after their transition into that life. It seems like it'd be scary. Uncle Skeleton said. I started trading on Robinhood here and there a few years ago just for fun. Eventually a few friends started to as well, and for a few months I started to understand what it was like to be into sports. Like we had our favorites and could brag on wins over drinks. It was pretty fun. But then they started to get really involved and I'm still more casual. Now these conversations are starting to get tedious. Canda Blue said. Are you ready to defend your country? Fucking explosion. Are you sick of other countries laughing at Freedom Eagle screeching doing an electric guitar solo? Well, we want you to join the explosive echo effect. SS military. Every chick will want to bang you. Freedom scream. Every man will want to be you. Gunshots or fireworks? Welcome to America. Call your local recruiter today. Not responsible for death, injury, psychological trauma, being a victim to Jody, amputation, your Dodge Charger or UCMJ. Bussa Bailey said. Herbalife having to literally explain to people that it's an MLM is so frustrating. They prey on small towns, create nutrition shops that sell $9 shakes when it's literally just Herbalife and is helping the owner barely break even. Happened in my small town, then out of nowhere 3 other branches popped up in the revolving small towns. Which basically means the owner conned 3 more into joining so that they can get their profit. There's a documentary out there called like 1 in a Million or something that breaks down the pyramid and how little people at the bottom are actually making. They also show that the shakes are nothing more than liquid laxative, so of course you're losing weight. Also, keto. Pope Landlord said. Work? Some people just make it their whole life and I don't get it. Work to live, don't live to work. My workplace's normal business hours are 8:30 to 5:0. But I'm constantly hearing people say shit like when I was working on it this weekend or talk about how they work so late, it makes me cringe. Waffle Lover 17 said. I haven't seen this one yet, but gaming don't come for me. I'm not talking about everyone at games. I'm talking about the people watching obnoxious gaming YouTubers and turning their personality into them. The YouTubers are acting that way to get money and get an audience, in front of a camera not all the time. I enjoy watching gaming videos. Dream, Sapnap, Wilbursoot, and I think they're nice, but some are just so obnoxious I can't stand them. I won't name them, but I think we all know what I'm referring to. Sorry this is long, thanks for listening to me rant. Idiot Green Tree said. I'm gay as well and I used to strongly feel this, but honestly as I got older I kind of began to empathize with those kids, young adults. In a homophobic environment, young queer people often focus so much on hiding who they are, and when that threat is gone it takes time to find something else to fill the remaining void with. In some ways, I think making your whole personality your sexuality is a coping mechanism for years of internalized shame. Not saying it's good, but I get it. Requiem for Civilian said. Significant other of, insert service occupation here. Army wives and police wives specifically. My coworker's husband is a reserve deputy, which means he volunteers and patrols the basketball games in a town of less than 1,000 people. She legitimately mentions him being a reserve deputy 3 times a week in conversation, lol. She bought him a Thin Blue Line wedding band. She is sure that at jury duty selection, she wasn't chosen because they recognized her as being Ty's wife. LMAO. She supports Derek Chauvin. The list goes on. Corrupt Manatee said. I've met many people whose entire personality is their race and our heritage. I mean you do you, but after a while it's like okay, but is that it? Is that really all you talk about? I get pride in where your ancestors come from, but after a while it gets old when that's all there is. This is especially true if they try to demonize other races' heritages but act like theirs is perfect. Lil Gherkin said, I'm in a trivia group, and one of the members' girlfriend is obsessed with their French bulldog, and only talks about their French bulldog in our trivia group chat, and we've all agreed that we hate this designer dog abomination that isn't even trained well. She bought herself a Mother's Day card and signed it from the dog, and it genuinely makes me pinch the bridge of my nose in disappointment when I remember she shared that. Misfortune 2222 said, being sickly. I've always had very poor health, and in high school and early college, as my conditions worsened, I didn't like that I couldn't live a normal life, so I kind of leaned into it. Always joked about how sickly I was while secretly hating myself for not being able to keep up with my peers. Some maturing and some guidance from my mother has helped me to learn that, yes, poor health sucks, and yes, I can't always do the things that healthy people can, but that doesn't have to control my identity. Doing far better now, learning what my true limits are and how to work with them. Davos Lost Fingers said, just being honest here, but a lot from the LGBTQ+ community. To be clear, I have nothing against people in that group. As far as I'm concerned, two consenting adults can do whatever they want. But a lot of people make their sexuality life choices etc. front and center, when really most people don't really care if they are gay etc. or not. Edit. My original comment was saying, I've seen a lot of younger people in the LGBTQ community make their sexuality their personality. This does not mean I am against these people, how they live their lives, who they fuck, or anyone else in the general population. I'm amazed how people have grabbed their torches and pitchforks at such a small comment of past observation. A lot of people do not give a shit what your sexual preferences are. Of course circumstances differ, but most people learn against you. 40 Miles Away said, I hate it when not being homophobic, but actually being homophobic, becomes a major part of a person's personality. As if it's something they need to make clear to anyone and everyone at all times. Especially during June. All of a sudden my kid has a ton of friends in June. My daughter and her best friend, Malay, are gay. They have their own group of friends who are in the LGBTQ+ community, and I love it. They're a great group of kids who have a great sense of humor and are the most kind and compassionate people I've ever met. Their sexuality only is a small portion of their personalities. The amount of straight people, mostly young women, who never said more than 2 words to them throughout the year but called them their gay besties really pissed me off. It was like a badge of honor in high school to have a gay bestie. My daughter often joked about being the token queer. It broke my heart. But it is always pretty fucking funny when my daughter or her friends tell these people that something is gay and watch their reaction. They just did this to the worst offender. The girl made a group chat with them trying to get glasses and asking everyone their opinion on things. Especially the gay males, because of the old trope that gay men are better at fashion. She picked a certain pair, really liked them, and my daughter said those are lesbian glasses. Definitely. And the girl immediately put them back on the shelf even after my daughter told her she was joking. They looked really cute, and no one would think she was a lesbian over a pair of glasses. IDK, but that made me snort laugh. Imagine not picking a pair of glasses over being told they're gay. Fanboy Hunter said, literally anything. People are so afraid of not having some sort of socially accepted and acknowledged identity that they will latch on to anything that can make them feel validated and like they belong. Music genres. Certain brands or fashion styles, Supreme, streetwear, Gucci, etc. A fucking video game console. A drug or a type of alcohol. Star signs, energy healing, yoga, human design, etc. I am a yoga and breathwork teacher, but I'm not a woo-woo kind of guy. Conspiracy theories. Politics. Chinese Chai Tea said. Autism. Hear me out. I have a father who had autism, deceased now, and a child who was autistic. My dad you would never know, my child you most definitely would, so this is not a slap at autistic people. My friend was diagnosed on the spectrum at 32, it's now became her entire life. I get she's different though, I swear I would have never guessed she was on the spectrum at all. She talks about it constantly. She feels like she's a spokesperson for all autistic people. My child doesn't speak, and is handicapped and needs constant care. This isn't some cool niche personality trait for some autistics, it's a disability that they struggle with. I get she's now deemed different, but it's not always. OMG. It's my autism again, isn't it so funny lol kinda BS. Terminal Daydream said. Money, entirely. Those with it seem to think they are better than those without money. My rich family members sneer at me as I'm unable to work. Not knowing my cancer is back, thinking I made up the fact that I haven't been able to walk hardly for over a month. I'm waiting on disability at 23 years old, and I have worked my ass off my entire life. But they seem to think money is more important than being there for the ones you love. Not that they would or are helping financially, but I learned a lot growing up that money seemed to be more important than love even.